Hello, hello, it's me, Arden Lee, and in today's video, I am here to tell you to stop asking for permission. I'll unpack a little bit about what I mean about that, about waiting on permission for you to do the things that you clearly want to do anyway, and or permission to do things in a way that feels right to you in this moment, right? But before I do that, I would love to invite you, if you do not know already, to check out the Repatterning Project. I want you to look in the description box. The Repatterning Project is a course that I run. We're starting our next one in January, and I'd love to invite you to join us. It's an 8-week course where we hack our beliefs through empowered conscious reality creation through our thoughts. We optimize ourselves for success and for happiness, and we figure out how to get our lives on track and in flow from the inside out. And you can download your free PDF guide on the repatterning modality in the link that is in the description box. And you can also check out the Repatterning Parlor, which is a free community that I've created on Facebook, where you can connect with me and other like-minded individuals for support in moving on your path forward. So before I get into that, or now that I've gotten into that, here's what I want to say about asking for permission. There have been so many people lately who are either clients of mine or people who follow my work. I've started to see this trend where essentially, I might say, hey, here's how to do X, Y, Z, or whatever, and I'll get questions from people, and they'll ask me, well, Arden, do I have to do it that way? Or, do I what if I what, can I do this or can I do that? And I'm like, why are you asking me? Of course, you can do whatever you want. Nobody says that you have to listen to me. The question is, what results do you want to get, right? I always find it really funny when people are like, I've seen a couple times, and I understand that this comes from a really well-meaning place, and I understand the philosophy behind it. So I'm going to unpack it a little bit, but I see this behavior sometimes where I will post a video, or I'll write an essay or whatever, and I'll say, hey, here's the next step to being happy in your life, to being, more mindful about your decisions and more conscious about the world you are creating for yourself and the life that you're making. And, sometimes that will bring up resistance in people, and there's a reason for that resistance that I empathize with. There's lots of reasons for resistance. You guys, if this stuff was easy, then everybody would be doing it. It's easy once you get the hang of it, of course, but making that bold leap, making that commitment to it is not always easy. Getting started is not always easy. That's why I created this work to begin with. That's why I like to offer a community that has support, so people can join in together and work on moving that forward. But sometimes, I'll say, hey, hey, everybody, not even to a specific person. I'll just be posting something on my social media, and I'll be like, hey, everybody, do this if you want to move forward. This is the way to get happier. This is the way to deal with your shit. Confront your issues and whatever, and solve things and move forward and be happier. And sometimes people will be like, do I have to? And I'm like, no. and I understand where there's, I have a tendency, because I believe so much in the power of language, I have a tendency to treat things rather literally, even when I know that the intention behind them is maybe joking or sarcastic, right? And the reason I do that is not because I want to be a jerk, but it's because I want to draw attention to the ways that people are using their language in ways that is giving their power away, right? So even when I was, in my former incarnation, not actual incarnation, but in my former self, several years ago, when I was still giving a lot of my power away, I noticed that I was making a lot of jokes or references or saying things sarcastically that were giving my power away. I would call myself a hot mess, be like, oh my God, I'm a hot mess. Well, I was a hot mess then, right? All that came true. The way that I was using my words absolutely started to define my reality in ways that are really shocking and really clear and clarifying when I look back at them. So when people say today, like even if it's joking and they're like, do I have to do that? And I know what they're saying is, I know that what they really mean is, I know in my heart that this is the way forward, but it's really difficult and I've been putting it off. And I'm afraid because of what this step forward is going to entail me giving up, the changes that I'm going to have to make, and the ways that I'm going to have to confront my reality in ways that are uncomfortable. And I empathize with that. And if someone like says that, I'm like, yes, that's correct. And yes, you are hesitating, and that's okay. Hesitate for as long as you want, and whenever you're ready to move forward, then you'll do it. No big deal. But when people do say that and say, do I have to, or can I do this, or can I do that? It's like I really just want to draw attention to that language, and I want to say, stop looking to someone outside yourself. Like even me, like look, I love I love making these videos, and I love like being stepping into that energy of being like an authority or an expert, right? It feels good. It feels good to feel competent at something and to feel like I have worthwhile, valuable advice to give, right? But even for me, like, don't give your power away to me. Don't ask me to make those decisions for you, because the only person who's capable of doing it really is you. And I'm not going to tell you that you have to do anything, because you don't. We live in a free, we live in a free will universe. And you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. In fact, you're allowed to be miserable for the rest of your life if you want. Like, I don't even say that sarcastically, Like, I can't make everyone, I can't make everyone like take my course, I can't make everyone get happier in their lives. And if I felt that I could, first of all, I would be wrong. And second of all, I'd be setting myself up for a lot of disappointment. So I just want to get super real about that and say, it's not me who's here to give anyone permission to do anything, or you can look at it the opposite way. I'm here to give you every permission. So if you want to do it, go for it. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it. Whatever that is. But I really want to draw attention to the way that we're using our language in these situations, because it's important to know that the person who is really in control of all of your decisions is you. And looking to any outside source, even me, to make those decisions for you is inherently giving your power away, right? Even if what you want me to say is, yes, you have to do this, right? You might think that that's motivating you to take a step forward, but in reality, you're actually taking a step backward, because you're not owning that it's your decision. And that's something that's really, really important. If you're doing something because someone is forcing you to do it, and I understand, again, even when this is a joke, but again, the power of our language is so crucial. And if you're even using language that implies that someone else is forcing you to improve, to make progress, then you're not owning your power in that decision. You're actually taking away from that. You're giving your power to somebody else, somebody outside you. And I don't want your decision-making power, quite frankly. I didn't even want my own. Fuck, this is, like, I was so happy, like, just blaming all my problems on everything else. It's enough for me to own my own power, okay? I'm doing the best that I can, but I definitely don't want anybody else's. I want all of you to keep your power and own your power for yourself. If anything, I just want to be an example of what is possible. And if you want to follow in these footsteps, then I want that. But I want to inspire you, and I want to inspire you to do that of your own free will, and to own your decisions in going forward and making that move, right? And there's also a lot of people, including even my private clients sometimes, who will take who will ask those same questions for permission, and it's not that I mind it or whatever. It's just that I'm always going to give you permission for whatever you want to do, and I'm just going to let you know. I'm just going to let you know what the results are going to be. That's really what it depends on, right? I'll have clients who will call me up and be like, do I have to do X, Y, Z? I'm like, no. If you don't want to feel that, then don't do it. If it doesn't feel in alignment, then don't. And if at some point the lack of doing that starts to feel off to you, then you'll do it at that point in the future when you're like, you know what, I really do have to do that. If you call me up and you're like, Arden, do I have to pay my rent? I'm going to say, no, you don't have to. But when it starts to catch up with you and you start getting eviction notices, you're going to want to have paid it, right? You're going to want to start taking care of that. And if you take care of it now, you won't have to do it later, right? But you don't have to do anything that you don't want to. And I think that's something that's really important to talk about. I've experienced this myself with my own coach lately. I've hired a business coach. If you guys have probably noticed, I've been making a lot more videos in the past like month and a half, maybe. Yeah, about month and a half than I ever have before. My business coach is like, look, Arden, I want your work to have impact in the world. You need a bigger audience. You're really smart, and I see everything that you're doing, the ways that you're helping people, and we want to put that out there so that more and more people know about you as a resource. So what that means is you have to make a lot of content, right? And he was like, I want you to make 10 videos a week, like 2 a day, 5 days a week, and there you go, like do that. And at first it was a really difficult adjustment. Like that's a pretty big workload to add to what you already have existing. And like, keep in mind, you guys, like I have a band, I have a show on Thursday. I don't know if y'all are around, but if you live in LA, my band Arden and the Wolves is playing State Social House on Sunset Boulevard on Thursday at 11 p.m. So come out and see me. So like there's so much other stuff that I do. And so I went to my coach and I was complaining. I was like, I don't know if I can keep this up. I don't know if I can do 10 videos a week. This is really hard. Do I have to do 10 videos a week? And he was like, no, Arden, you don't. But it's going to take you longer then. You can make 5 videos a week. You can make 3. You could make 1 video a week, Arden. But the thing is, it's going to take longer for people to find you because there's going to be fewer topics that they're going to be searching for and possibly come across your video. There's going to be fewer chances of them coming across you and being impacted by you. So if you really want your work to make an impact in the world fast, and I know you do because you know that this is a crucial time to be alive, and that getting people, inspiring them to really get their lives together and be right with themselves is a crucial point in this development. He's like, then I really encourage you. And I was like, I'm sold. I'll make the 10 videos, So ultimately, you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. It's really just about what results do you want, So that is the question. If you ever ask me for permission, again, I'm just gonna fair warning. That's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say it depends on the results that you want, and it's not my responsibility. I'm not a sled dog person, like making you do something or like whipping you into shape or whatever. Virgil, you had better not jump up on that table. I am making Virgil not jump up on the table, but that's because he's my cat. So anyway. Sorry about that. It really, you don't need permission from anyone to make the decisions you want to make. What I encourage you to do is just to look at the consequences of the actions that you take and look at the results that you want and ask yourself which is more worth it to you. And if you're honest with yourself about that, and if it's not time for something, that's not time. When it's time, it will be time. Listen to your heart. You're the only one who can do it for you. So you do not need permission from me or from anybody else. You only need it. You only need to make a decision about what you want your life to look like. So thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And do remember, your language shapes your reality. So do use your words. I don't want to say carefully, because it's not about being like overly cautious and walking on eggshells, but really use your words intentionally. Understand that you have the power to create something really beautiful just by starting with your language. Change your language first and things will start to change. I promise you that much. Thank you again for listening, and I will see you next time.